Before we begin, I'd like to say, Professor, thank you for all of your assistance this semester. It has been truly needed and appreciated. So let me start off by saying this is a presentation for the Summer Sun, or Hit the Books, a comparative study of students' enrollment at St. Petersburg College. I'm Elena Bible. Our abstract. So the goal of this research was to investigate what impacts our community's school students from attending college classes during the summer months. The selected population and sample for this study was the school's 2018-2019 students before the school implemented any kind of adapted type scheduling practices. In this effort to more accurately determine the relationship between schedule conflicts and the community school practices, the study utilizes the chi-square analysis and descriptive statistical analysis to demonstrate that the statistical relationship and other engagements in the student schedule that are effectively hinder the attendance of the 2018-2019 school year at St. Petersburg College. However, the recommendations should not be implemented at this time, and due to the fact that the survey is kind of incomplete. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. So St. Petersburg College is a community college in the South, and it dates back to almost 100 years ago. It's a place of learning that was established in 1927 as St. Petersburg Junior College. SPC has supported more than 28,000 students every year, with the emphasis on real-world curriculum. The St. Petersburg College provides classes during the spring, summer, and fall semesters, and the school is thriving but still struggles to maintain students during the dog days of summer. The purpose of the study was to investigate or identify if there is outside influence such as work, family, etc., that will impact a student's choice to enroll in the summer classes at SPC. Researchers will examine the SPC findings, that would be myself at this time, and they will relate to the attendance, desired length of classes, dates of classes, and other factors. And finally, the study was intended to provide beneficial information for schools, stakeholders, in similar Southern college settings, so that they could adopt a summer course programs accordingly. Our hypothesis is based upon the experience of this researcher and the experiences of other students encountered. It's speculated that the biggest factor that affects enrollment during this summer is scheduling or scheduling conflicts due to outside factors. This important factor, or scheduling conflicts, will be the dominant aspect that students use to determine if they can attend summer classes. We would expect to see a higher percentage of students with scheduling conflicts as the reason why they cannot attend, and a higher percentage of students that can attend based upon an open schedule. This should show on our linear regression graph as a U shape if our hypothesis is correct. So our null hypothesis, there would be no correlation between our important factors as well as the choosing courses. This means that there's equal distribution of the factors that will affect the likelihood of our students taking summer classes. Our alternative hypothesis, there is a stronger correlation between schedule conflicts, also known as I look for a class based on how it fits my work, family, or personal schedule, and the other important factors for attending summer classes. The independent variables are the quantity of students in our sample. The dependent variables are how the student feels about taking summer classes and what influences their decisions. Methods of data collection. Data was obtained from St. Petersburg College students that were required to take the ethics class. As this is a required course, it provides us with the maximum amount of exposure and diversity of students available. Our sample size is 262 participants. Student population currently is 45,216 as of 2019. For the research question, our chi-squared test, an independent comparison of the two variables. So our chi-squared test proved that our p-value of 0.14663 as a result is not significant, where p is less than 0.05. This leads us to reject our null hypothesis, and there's a strong association between the reasons why students would choose or would not choose summer classes. Means and linear regression. So the students had to pick between these four categories and rate them from their highest to lowest. For our study, 4 was the highest variable, then 3, 2, 1. 0 was the only time used was when they left the answer blank. So the highest that we found in our categories was when there's a schedule conflict. So I look for a class based upon how it fits in my work, family, or personal schedule at 38%. Then followed by if I like my teacher, or if I look for campus-based classes or online classes. Be that the current climate has changed to a more online platform, it could very well have changed quite drastically in the recent years. Here is our linear regression chart. As you can see, we have our linear regression line, and our data points, unlike our hypothesis, are in a W-shaped form. So we saw on our linear regression chart, there was an interesting W pattern instead of a U-shaped pattern as expected with our data set. What does that mean for our hypothesis? Well, we can speculate at the end of the graph, we have significantly higher beliefs by the students on the higher end as well as the lower end, that they will know their schedule a lot better. And so the ones with schedule conflicts are more likely not to take classes, which was our students that were less likely to take classes. And our category 5, which was I will most likely take classes, have a stronger belief that they have a clear schedule. The middle was slightly surprising because it was slightly higher than expected, and that's significant because these students may or may not know what's going on with their schedule just yet, or maybe they're trying to see if the classes will fit their schedules. So right now it's an unknown factor. So what would be the best suggestion is to do an after enrollment study so that we can find out what the factor was in that middle part, and they can determine maybe they had to, like I said, check the classes, see if it would fit in with what they had planned, or maybe if the plans had changed, they were able to attend classes. We would get a better look at that. And most likely, we'd have more of a straight linear line instead of that U-shaped form like we originally thought at that time. So our sample size is extremely low. It's less than 1%. So we would like to definitely see this being, maybe 20-30% of our total population to get a better idea. Of course, we're going to have a higher likelihood of success for our study the more participants that we receive. So in conclusion, while this study needs more information to draw exact conclusions, it's apparent that each generation of our students face unique challenges in which community schools have to adapt by addressing such issues as new technologies, new family dynamics, as well as even a pandemic. the strength of attending classes, and the likelihood that students will choose to enroll has a strong relationship. Our present recommendations for the future is present-day technology has statistical advantages that must be utilized for colleges and students alike. Once an after enrollment survey is taken, it would validate or even invalidate the current hypothesis, and the dialogue of recommendations could begin. Logistics plan would then be created, approved, and implemented, and hopefully before the summer program begins of the following year. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Any questions?